Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down the core philosophy behind one of the most influential movements in software development and, really, beyond, the 12 Agile Principles. This quote, no matter who actually said it, just perfectly captures the central problem Agile is trying to solve. It's all about building what users truly need, not just what they think they want. It's about getting past that surface-level request to find the real need underneath. So, what's the secret? Well, the answer isn't some rigid recipe or a magic formula. It's actually a set of guiding principles. Think of them as ground rules that help teams navigate the crazy complexities and, let's be real, the inevitable problems of any project. Okay, so let's dive in. We'll kick things off by figuring out what Agile really is. Then, we're going to explore all 12 principles by grouping them into 3 core pillars. First, delivering value, then, people and collaboration, and finally, constant improvement. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about the overall Agile mindset. Before we get into the principles themselves, there's one thing that is absolutely crucial to understand. Agile is not a magic bullet. It's a foundation, it's a mindset for making smart choices when things don't go according to plan, which, come on, they almost never do. At its heart, the entire reason these 12 principles even exist is to align every single thing the team does with delivering real, tangible value to the people who will actually be using the software. That's it. That's the goal. The first pillar of Agile is all about delivering value. This group of principles is laser-focused on one thing: satisfying the customer through the early and continuous delivery of working software. This is really where the rubber meets the road. Agile teams work in these short, focused cycles called iterations. You can think of an iteration as the engine for continuous delivery. It's this predictable rhythm that lets you constantly learn and adjust as you go. This simple, repeatable process is what makes Agile, well, Agile. By planning, building, and then actually showing a piece of the final product, the team and the customer can make smart adjustments along the way. This makes sure the final product isn't just what was planned months ago, but what's truly needed right now. And this represents a fundamental shift in thinking. Instead of getting locked into an inflexible contract with a fixed set of specs, Agile teams build a real partnership with their customers. They start to see changes not as problems or scope creep, but as awesome opportunities to build an even better product. Forget those long, drawn-out status reports and complicated progress charts. In Agile, the single most honest and effective update you can get is a demonstration of the software itself. If it works, you've made progress. It's really that simple. Okay, moving on to our second pillar, people and collaboration. Agile recognizes a simple truth that we often forget. Projects don't succeed or fail because of tools or processes. They succeed or fail because of the people involved and how well they can work together. This is a perfect example of how traditional performance metrics can completely, even if accidentally, sabotage the collaborative environment Agile needs. Think about it. If you reward testers for how many bugs they find, you can end up creating this adversarial relationship with developers. The goal should be a shared commitment to quality, not individual stats that create conflict. The goal is to move away from what's often called a CYA culture, cover your ass, where people use tons of documentation just to avoid blame later. Instead, Agile builds an environment of trust where the entire team, and that includes the customer, shares ownership of the outcome. When a change happens, it's not about who was wrong. It's about what we can do together to make it right. So the crucial point here is this: while documentation totally has its place, it's just a tool. The real goal is to get the ideas in one person's head to perfectly match the ideas in another's. And nothing, I mean nothing, does that better or faster than a direct conversation. And this leads to another core Agile idea: promoting a sustainable pace. Agile gets that burnout isn't some badge of honor. It's a direct path to mistakes, low morale, and, in the end, terrible results. A well-rested, focused team is always going to outperform a burnt-out run in the long run. All right, our final pillar, the process of improvement. This is all about the habits that allow an Agile team to not just perform, but to adapt, grow stronger, and build better software over time. This is what makes agility last. This is such a powerful and honestly a kind of counterintuitive principle. The goal isn't to build every feature you can possibly think of. It's to focus only on the most valuable ones. because every feature you don't build is code you don't have to write, test, and maintain. That keeps the system way simpler and easier to change later on. So instead of a top-down approach where some architect hands down a master plan from on high, Agile trusts that the team working on the project day in and day out is the one best equipped to make design and architecture decisions. They have the most context, and they can evolve the design as they learn more. Now, this doesn't mean no design at all. Actually, it's quite the opposite. It means building good habits and keeping a high standard of quality all the time. It's about taking the time to fix code problems as soon as you find them, which stops technical debt from slowing the whole team down later. This right here, this is the absolute core of improvement. An Agile team regularly and honestly looks at what's working and what isn't. And then, this is the most important part, they actually adjust their behavior. It's a built-in mechanism for getting better. So, bringing all of this together, here's the key takeaway. You can't just cherry-pick a few practices, like doing daily stand-ups and then call your team Agile. That completely misses the point. The real game-changing benefit of Agile comes from embracing the entire mindset, this holistic approach that values collaboration, focuses on delivering value, and is absolutely committed to continuous improvement. The practices are just how you express those principles. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In your work, are you and your team just going through the motions of a process, or have you truly embraced the principles of trust, collaboration, and continuous learning that drive real agility?